give me a scale 1 to 10. We're just talking flyers and IQO. Give me a scale 1 to 10. This isn't like, oh, what's wrong with you? But how are you with flyers and IQO both?
Well, I've never made one before.
Excellent.
But I have watched the training video.
Okay.
So I don't know, like a 3 probably.
Okay, great. It's a good place to start. Lisa, would you say that you have fluency?
Yeah, I kind of know the ins and outs of a flyer.
Okay.
I could probably learn some more, but say hi.
Well, that's why you're here. So I'm glad. Hey, it's Alan. Hey, man. This is your business. Are you dressed up as a KISS guy? You should be like,
something like that.
Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Hey, why don't you go to a closing or something?
I don't have one today. Sorry.
Okay, and you don't wear a watch either, so that gesture is futile. Anyway, are you going to be able to help me on Friday with the American Home Shield thing? I assume you don't.
Probably, yeah.
What?
Probably.
Okay, because I'm not an agent. You may know that by now, but so I don't have the true understanding that I should, but I need a couple people that do. And Valerie said she's out. I had asked her. So if you could be on that call to sort of say, this is how to do it, this is what works, and why we, give them the Alan Brown, that would be pretty cool.
Okay, then I can do that.
You are the best. I don't care what everyone else is. I was just going to choose one person, but
I'll have to move one of my rescue meetings.
You know what? I'm going to say that term to me is a tiny bit. No, I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Chrissy is like, what is going on here? Can we stop wasting time?
Okay.
Vail office cannot hear anything. Why not? Everyone else is laughing at my jokes. Haha, okay. I don't know what to tell you, Vail. Can someone call in? I have not done anything weird with the settings, so can't hear anything. Interesting. Okay. And Shelby, real quickly on flyers, IQO flyers, are you a 1 to, are you 2, are you 10? What are you?
Probably like 2.
Okay.
I don't do a lot of them.
Okay. Here's the point. And for the most part, I'm going to talk to the OMs, even though I know there are agents maybe listening. Boy, I don't know what's going on, Vail. Is there someone there with a laptop that can jump in and maybe use that so that you can hear me? Because maybe it's something in your conference room that isn't working. At any rate, agents, I apologize if it sounds like I'm talking to the OMs, but all of us OMs and all of us people in the support should really know how to do these things, and we should even dream about them a little bit. So I'm going to direct this to the OMs, but all of it is totally transferable to agents. And in fact, the whole idea is that agents can do this on their own. OMs, a little secret is, of course, if you want to make sure that your agents are raving fans and they love you to death, you're going to know how to do this. Doesn't mean you'll do it every time, but if they ask you, you can do it in about 1/10 the time as they can, and then they think you're a hero, okay, or a go-go dancer. All right, Vail, are you hearing anything yet? Chrissy, do you have plans for tonight? Are you going out? Do you have kids that you're dressing up and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we have 2 little kids, so we're taking them around. If it's not snowing, hopefully.
Wow. Are you a before it gets dark type of parent? Or
yeah, they're 2 and 5, so they don't like to stay out too late, or I don't like them to stay out too late.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're just going to look at a few of my favorite templates, and we're going to look at things that happen when you are printing, things that need to happen when you are sending via email, and how to do MLS blasts. And then if there's any other stuff, we have until 10 to cover. Let's make sure we cover it all so that this is an exhaustive and informative piece of training. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And Chrissy, if you're ever using this Zoom program and you want to share your screen, again, you just hover and there's a green button down there, share, and it'll jump to whatever it is your screen has on it. So make sure when you share your screen, OMs, that you don't have some crazy thing all boosted up. That would not be good. Okay, I'm going to act as an agent so that it feels a little bit more normal. I'm going to act as one of my agents here in our office, Jeannie Keel. Just a quick thumb up that you can see my screen. The IQO, great. Okay. All right, so let's talk first about printing out flyers, because we're still in 2018 printing out flyers. My hope is by 2020 we won't be printing flyers as an industry, and that we'll have stuff that you can just go by and grab on your phone. But at any rate, we're still doing that. So you've heard me say this 100 times, Lisa, Chrissy, and Shelby, probably not much, but IQO is your virtual office. Everything you need to do real estate from a tactical standpoint is in here. Doesn't mean it makes you a good agent. It just means it's all right here. You can get it on your phone and everything. So this is your office. In your office, you have file cabinets. Like any good office, you have file cabinets, and all your file cabinets are right here on the left side of the screen. I'm giving you this metaphor because it's helped me to think of IQO not as this giant noise machine, but it's a bunch of distinct and discrete places to go get stuff done. So if you think of these as file cabinets, that's helped me from a metaphorical standpoint. Okay, some of these you'll use more than others, but what we are going to use when we're doing flyers is the marketing file cabinet, because anytime we're doing a flyer, we are marketing something about ourselves. Okay, so I click on this, and then those are the drawers. Isn't this a beautiful thing? The drawers open magically. You don't even need to hit it on the top of the thing or get a key or whatever. Thanks, Shelby, for the half-ass laugh. So, we are going to talk first about printing out flyers, okay? And this is where it gets a little bit dicey in IQO. They don't have super strong distinguishing trademarks once you get into the file cabinet. But obviously here we're talking about print marketing. Can you print from something you've done as a flyer for an e-campaign? Yeah, but then it gets weird, has been my experience. So if an agent wants a flyer, you go into print marketing and you can go to My Saved Content. Even if it's a brand new flyer that they've never printed or made before, go into there, My Saved Content, because it's either already there from a previous printout, or it's one you're going to save. So that's where that lives, okay? I have to shrink all of us, so now would be the time to flip me off because I can't see anyone. So here in Jeannie's lies all of the things that she has printed before, okay? And since I can't see anyone, please make sure that you stop and ask questions because I can't see you raise your hand or whatever. Just please interrupt. These are all the flyers that she's printed out before for her flyer boxes, for open houses, for distribution at different events or what have you. Okay, so if I know that this one is the one I want and I need another copy of the one I've already done, I can just go here, click on Actions, and I can click Print. This takes a minute. There is a little bit of a, not a glitch, but let me see what the chat has to say. Yes, we are recording, Vale. I'm sorry that it's awry. I don't understand what's happening for you. At any rate, if I want to print, I can do that. It takes about 30 seconds, usually in my experience, for IQO and your print thing to talk. So give it a minute before that PDF pops up, okay? If you want to edit this one, you can click it. And all of these things, and we'll go over this really closely in a minute, all of these parts are editable. Whenever you see the thing light up like that, it means you can change the photos, you can change the text, you can change a whole bunch of things, okay? But let's pretend, especially since we have OMs on the call who have little experience printing out flyers, and certainly agents, let's pretend that this is a brand new listing or I've never done a flyer for it and I want to get a flyer, okay? So I am here and I'm going to add content, because basically what I'm doing is I'm going to add a piece of content to my saved flyers. Okay, so add content, and keep in mind that IQO stands for IQ slow sometimes. OMs, pay close attention to this. I'll try to put this in the email, but I have one really favorite flyer that I use for almost everything, whether it's email or print. And to me, it's the easiest to manipulate. It looks the best. It doesn't get all boxy and look like someone's preschool cookie cutter project. And it's this one here. So you click on category, all these holiday ones, whatever. It's property flyer on the market. It's the next to last one that I think offers the most flexibility and the most professional and clean look out of all of the property flyers that we're looking at. Okay, so I click on that, and then I have 6 choices. Okay, and since we're Coldwell Banker, I love the dark blue one. I used an orange one today for an agent this morning. In fact, Jeannie is sending out an e-flyer, and I used the orange one because it's Halloween, and I thought, well, aren't I a color-coordinated cool cat? So I did that. I wouldn't use red because that reminds people of other things. Green, maybe, but I like this dark blue one. Don't click on it because it'll just pop up, and it'll be like, what did I do? Click select, okay? And by the way, this process is going to be the same for your e-flyers. We just happen to be in the print one now. Okay, so basically what I'm showing you now is totally transferable when we do the e-flyer.
I want to sign up for Jet. Do you know anything about it?
Say again?
Can I just get some info? Well, I got the link that.
Okay, sorry, Shelbs, you're muted. You have lost. Okay, now here's a really cool thing. See how it's all blank? That's because IQO doesn't know what to do with this flyer. Okay. I am doing a property flyer, so I'm going to go in here and select. Now, it would be really cool if only Jeannie's listings popped up here, but that's not the case. Every listing in the company pops up. The cool part of that is if Jeannie wanted to make a flyer for someone else's property because she's got a client that wants a paper flyer, she could type in any property and it'll show up. We're going to do 234 Meadows Loop, and at some point it pops up. Click on it, and then you have to click the check. And then in about 20 to 30 seconds, IQO goes into the MLS and fetches all of that information, retrieves it, and puts it in here. And if you or your agents go, man, this takes a long time, let me tell you, as the marketing person at Sotheby's for a couple of years, making this flyer takes about 20 minutes by hand. This happens in about 20 seconds. So just everybody calm down, everybody take whatever pill you need to take, and understand that this is super, super awesome. Okay, any questions up to this point? Because I'm going to talk about how to edit this now. Shelby, I muted you because you started talking to probably Carrie or someone ridiculous, and it was interfering with me. No questions? Okay. All right. So what I want to show you now is that you have tons of editing capability here, okay? All right, so let's just go from the top down. And you know what? Content name, you want that so you can find it later. Category name, I never worry about that. But on the market now, that's a ridiculous thing. So you have a limited number of characters. For me, this is the best, and I've typed it before in Ketchup. Okay, I'd love to add an exclamation mark, but my limit stops there, so I click OK. Best backyard in Ketchum. Great. I like this front photo, but I don't like the way it sits. So I'm going to, sorry, I did that too fast. So I'm going to hover over it, and I'm going to click on it. And I have 4 little things up here that I can do. I can edit the image as it's sitting here. I can find images from the MLS. I can upload my images or images that already live in IQO, or I can upload new images. Let's say I took a brand new winter photo or fall photo of this home with beautiful yellow trees and I wanted to upload that. I could do that. But when I click property, and this is how you'll almost always do it, it goes in and grabs all the photos in order as they sit in the MLS, which is really cool. Now I'm going to choose the same photo, and here's why I'm going to do that. Because I, again, then can edit it. I can move this crop up and down, and I can tighten it a little bit so I can focus more on the house. In the photo that was, there's too much lawn. And so I go save, and in just a moment, the photo sits in a much more pleasing for me way. Now, did it change all that much? No, but this is for demonstration's sake. I don't want 2 exteriors on my flyer almost ever. So I'm going to go click on that one. And again, I'm going to click on property, and let's find, there's a living room already sitting there. So let's find this, actually, since it is the best backyard in Ketchum, I'm going to click this one because I think it's really cool. You can see the hot tub and the deck and the living spaces and the gardens. I love it. So I take back what I just said about never using 2 exteriors because I'm not a man of my word. I'm a man of my actions. Hey, that would be cool. Okay, let's say I don't want to say this right here. Let's say open today 1 to 3. I can put that in there. So that's pretty cool. Mostly I'd leave the price there, but you see what I'm saying. this is all taken from the MLS. Make sure this is right. And then be very, very careful here, OMs and agents. In this section, if there's more text than this box will allow, it'll just go ... And if you don't look at that every time, you could have a flyer that goes ... and that looks unprofessional. At any rate, I can come in here and edit it. Maybe I'm tired of everybody seeing this and say, this is the best remaining house in the Cold Springs neighborhood. So like if this is for an open house flyer and I don't need all that information because people are already there and they can get it from the MLS, I want to juice their thoughts another way, I can just do that. Okay, now that doesn't look as good, but I'm just showing you the manipulability of this. See why I chose this flyer? I like this big photo and then the two under it. It just feels like the cleanest one to me, okay? All right, one last thing to think about, and Lisa, this might be overkill for OMs, I don't know, but I think about it, is that I can adjust all of this stuff too. Anything that lights up, I can click. Now, nothing against the office, but if I'm Jeannie Keel, I want my phone number and my phone number alone there. I don't want anyone calling the office on my freaking listing. I want them calling me. So what I do with this all the time is I take her cell phone number and I cut it and I paste it there. Okay, the office phone is already on there down below, so I'm not like doing anything illegal. I just want people to call me, not the office, right? So, and if I wanted to, I could move this stuff up too. So if I wanted to put that here so there's no gap, I can just do that. And it looks a little cleaner. You see what I'm saying? At any rate, that's then the flyer that I want to be able to print out. And so I go ahead and I save and print, and this will do two things. A, it will save it into that folder of flyers that I've created, and it will give me a print dialog box. And I'll go ahead and print this now just so you can see that there is a little bit of a lag, because who doesn't like watching lags when you're on a tutorial? See a chat, let's see. Does this allow you to do front and back flyer prints or a duplex flyer? Let me see if I can answer that, Jennifer. Okay, has it come up yet? It might have jumped into another screen. Okay, let's pretend it came up. Oh, here's the print screen. Okay, you see that took a little time. And I think the reason it does that is it's taken all that stuff from a digital home in Las Vegas and turning it into a PDF that I can print in Vail or Telluride or wherever. So you understand that there's a little bit of a log. It could be pigeons and take 4 days. So chalk this up to, okay, that's pretty cool. So I would just go ahead and print. Jennifer, let me show you what we do in Sun Valley, and this doesn't mean that's what you're going to do, but when I print this, okay, I changed this to our nicer printer. This is sort of our workhorse. We have a little bit of a nicer one, so I changed that. I do 20 to 25 copies, whatever, but I only print this one side, okay? Then I take those and I flip them over and I load the MLS page for this property. And your guys' MLS looks different, I get it, but this is just what we do in Sun Valley. Be creative, figure out a way to get the MLS information on the back. And so once those finished flyers are back in the printer, I come here and I print my MLS page on the back of it. Okay, and if it goes to 2 sheets of paper, I don't want that, so I'm going to change the pages to just 1. Okay, so it's going to print that. Whatever was on the second page was meaningless anyway. And then I print, so it prints front and then it prints back. I do this one in a lesser quality because it's all text. But that's what I do. Does that, Jennifer, does that help a little bit with that question? Maybe, maybe not. I'll stop share for a second. So are you recording? Does this allow? So what do you mean by a duplex flyer, Jennifer? I don't understand what that might mean. Okay, we'll wait for that answer. Let me show you one other thing. This came up yesterday, and I'm glad it did, from Vail. There is, I'll go back to sharing. There is also, we got IQO to add.
Sorry, Derek, my computer is being wonky. I was thinking of, so like that flyer right there, being able to also create like a flyer on the back side. So like in the Telluride office, we have like all of our flyers out front, like with all of the information, but they're duplex, so they're front and back.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say stay away from trying to get IQO to get too fancy. Do one flyer, print it, do another flyer, flip the pages over, or whatever it takes for you to print double-sided on your printer and do it that way.
Cool beans.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to close that. Let me show you one other flyer that now exists. It's a little hard to find, but if you've got vacant land, you don't want to have beds and baths and square footage on there. So we can go back into here. We're going to find the flyer a different way. There's one vacant land flyer, unfortunately, and it's super, oh, no, I don't want to go there. Sorry. Go into marketing, and I want to go not to my saved content. Let's click e-marketing and do it here because you can print these. So, sorry, let me back up. Okay, that was how to print a flyer. Jeez. Get it together. Any questions before I move into doing an e-flyer? Okay. Dale, really, really sorry we're not in communication here. All right, so that was printing a flyer, and now we're going to go into e-flyers, and there's two types of e-flyers that an agent should be doing. One is of their own listing to their SOI or to the MLS, okay? Those are the two types. So they're either doing a flyer that they're just sending to a selected group of their people, or they're doing a flyer to the entire MLS. And Chrissy, don't take this as gospel because Bozeman's MLS is super fascist, in my opinion, and they've got lots of rules. Grand Junction runs into this too, Shelbs, about sending stuff out. And so to the entire MLS is a blast if it's not using the MLS system. So what I'm about to show you may or may not be applicable in your market based on the fascism that exists in some of these MLSs. Okay, so Chrissy, you need to, sometimes that changes. I don't know. Some agents struggle with it. Some do okay, but I'm just going to show everybody how to do an e-flyer from here. Okay, so we go back into that marketing. Instead of print, we're going to go to e-marketing. Almost always start a new one. Just go to My Campaigns. It's much easier. Okay, now Jeannie hasn't done anything on her own. All of the things she's done from an e-marketing standpoint have been who's I'm muting you, Chrissy. I think you had someone in the back talking. Zoom is really sensitive and it picks up almost everything. All right, so here we are, and you're like, wait, what happened? It didn't go the way I want. Well, that's because you're in your campaigns, and if you don't have anything there, it's going to show you have nothing here. So we're going to go to company campaigns. Okay, these are a little tough because they don't scream out at you, but almost always in IQ office, there's a gray bar across the top that has some things that, oh, that's where it lives. Silly me. So we go to company campaigns. Unfortunately, this doesn't alphabetize any longer, nor does it just filter for, Chrissy, if you just want a Bozeman, it doesn't just give you Bozeman newsletter and MLS market report. It gives you everything in unalphabetical order. Well, they're trying, but it's not right. So best way to do this is I'm in Sun Valley. I'm going to type in Sun, and here's the campaign, Sun Valley MLS campaign. OMs, keep in mind that instead of agents loading every MLS agent into their own contacts, we do that for them in a company campaign about every 2 months so that they live in this, it's called a contact campaign. So an agent, all of our agents can go in and they can send to our entire MLS through this thing that we load every couple months. And you don't need to worry, well, how do I do that? That's for another time. All of them are loaded right now. They might be a month or two old, so a little bit out of date, but it's not that big of a deal. That's for another training, okay? At any rate, this is called a contact campaign because the contacts already live there and we're just adding content, okay? All right. So here we are, and I want to send an e-flyer. You see this one I just loaded, and it should be going out in a moment. Don't be scared. Stop by 234 Meadows today. So that's going to go to our entire MLS on behalf of Jeannie, because I'm acting as her, to the entire MLS. If you're asked to do this for an agent, please make sure you act as them, and you do that up here in the upper right-hand corner, right? you can act as OMs, you have the capacity to act as your agent. If you act as you, it's going to come from you and your information will be at the bottom, and that's not what an agent wants. So Lisa, when an agent, and you already know this, so I'm not picking on you, says, hey, I need an MLS blast. Can you do this for me? Act as them so it shows up as coming from Jason Millward and not from Lisa Hasnari McKinnon Stevenson. That's a lot of names, lady.
I know it.
Okay. All right. So, and that's up here in this little file cabinet here. Okay. All right. So the reason it says recipients at 0 is because this content, these contacts don't live in Jeannie's thing, but you can see every time she sends one, it goes to about 380 or so people. This one is scheduled to go out today at 9:30, and since it's going to 400, it takes a little while, so this might change as we're talking. All right, so I want a new thing that I want to send out to my entire MLS. Okay, so I'm not using one of these, and I would almost always recommend don't use something you've already sent, because it just, I don't know, I just don't trust that. It's not an IQO thing, and I just don't trust that something that you've already sent is going to go out with the same accuracy as it did before. So I want to click on event, because I'm adding a new event to this contact campaign. Think of campaigns in a political way. A campaign is a series of little events that a candidate does to win their election. So this is another little series of things that we're doing, another event to help us win the election. Okay? All right, so this one behaves a little differently, and I don't know why, but I have to go grab the content, or the template, not through this drop down like the other one had for some reason, but I have to sift through all of these. And it's not a huge deal because they're alphabetical, but it's kind of a pain. I often use this one, OMs. Like if you're going to send out a Halloween thing today and you had your own image, you select this one, and it's a blank screen, and I can edit it, and I can put a picture in. Okay. Any picture that I've already uploaded, I can put in there. These are mainly flyers, so maybe this is an image. Let's just select this and see what it is. Come on. Well, anyway, I'm not going to make you sit and watch that. I often select that blank one because it gives me a lot of latitude. Or you can use the second one, which gives you image and then text here. Okay. All right, but let's go back to that on the market. Just listed, no. Where'd it go? On the market. So just keep in mind that it's on the market is, again, the most flexible one in my opinion. So I want to select this. First thing I'm going to do right now is make this inactive, only because I'm showing you how to do this, and I don't want anything going out on Jeannie's behalf that is just a test. So I'm going to make this inactive, but you don't need to do that. Okay. Here's the first thing you've got to make sure agents and you do. Change the subject. Even if you don't know exactly what you want to say yet, don't have it go out accidentally as on the market dark blue. That looks so amateur, it makes my skin crawl. So brand new listing or something like that. That's not a great one, but I'm just showing you how to do that. At some point, you'll have to change this if you know when you want it to go out, and I'm going to make this tomorrow just in case I screw something up and I can remember in my sleep, oh, shoot, I messed Jeannie's thing up, and I have to select the time I want it to go out after 5 tomorrow, okay? Afternoon is a good time to send things like this because that's when agents are done with all their stuff and they're at home checking their things, whatever. Okay, now again, I select property. And for expedience sake, let's do this one. It's a global luxury listing she has in town here. Okay. Again, an agent's like, God, it takes so long. No, it doesn't. You just think it does because you're looking at the little circle. This took 25 seconds. Ask someone to do this and it's going to be 2 days. Okay. I'll change this to, and that's up here, perfect Sun Valley living. Make sure I don't have any stupid errors. Oops, that's too long. So I'll say something like that, whatever. And then again, I don't like this. I don't like the way it sits. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to edit it. And for whatever reason, I can't edit it right here, but if I select it again, I can edit it. It's just a weird thing. It's a glitch. So I'll select it. And it should give me, in a moment, the chance to center that a little bit better. Does everybody see the difference that that makes? That's a little ticky-tacky, but if you're trying to really make sure an agent has the best look on their flyers, that's something to keep in mind, okay? And then I would change this one because no one wants to see a doorway and some trellis. This is probably okay because it gives a sense of the modernity of the home. Make sure the price is right. Make sure all this is right. Change that up if I want, okay? Now, I don't have the option to print here, which is fine because remember, this is an email going out to people, and it happens to be the MLS in this one. So I'm going to click Finish. And I'm going to drink a cup of coffee while it's doing that. And I'm going to make sure that I think happy thoughts. And it says, okay, it's been added to the campaign. Done. I can come here. Brand new listing. Scheduled to send on 11/01. It's inactive. Great. Here's what I always recommend you do, agents and OMs. First of all, make sure you live in your contacts. Make sure you and your OM live in your contacts. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And I'm going to tell you why that's important, because it's always best to send a preview of your thing to yourself or to your OM before it goes out to 400 people that you're trying to make an impression on. Send a preview so you know it looks right. Okay? How do you do that? This Actions tab is a hover tab. This Actions tab. Maybe they changed that. Anyway, usually a thing pops up when you hover over it, but Actions, let's see. I click on that. I can edit it from here. I can deactivate it if I'm like, oh shoot, I don't want that to go out. We change the open house, whatever, just deactivate it. But this, and using preview, it doesn't do the job for me because it's like it sort of shows you kind of like, oh, here's a preview, we think. I want it to actually go to my email so I can see what it looks like when I open up my stupid email. Shelby, what are you drinking? Is that a Halloween? Is that a Tim Whitney special? You wish. Dark and stormy is what he served.
Water. Gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah, good. So I'm going to send a preview, but I can only send previews to people in my contacts. Okay, so I click Send Preview, and this is a little bit freaky because it happens almost automatically. I live in Jeannie's contacts because I live in all of my agents' contacts so that I can do this. So I type in my name, I search, there I am. As soon as I click on this, it's going to go. It's not going to go send to Derek Svenningson. It's going to just go because it's a preview. Don't be freaked out when it just goes, but make sure, like if you're doing this for an agent and you send them a preview, make sure you know they're getting a preview. Otherwise, they're going to be like, this went out. Okay. So just be thinking when you're doing this stuff, think from an agent's point of view. What's this going to feel like or look like if I'm an agent and I'm getting a preview and I didn't know I was getting a preview? That's going to freak me out. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and push next, which is a bizarre. No, I'm going to click the name, and in a moment, I will get this listing, this flyer. Open today 1 to 3, okay? All right, so it worked the way I wanted it to. I'm going to delete this now so that this doesn't live here and confuse anyone, all right? So just, yes, delete. Okay, so that's how I do those two types of flyers. Now, if I wanted to do one just to an SOI or a, you know, to my A level, because I just brought on this $2.5 million house, and I know none of them are going to buy it, but I want them to know that their agent brings on killer ass listings, right? So I want to send it to them. I'm not going to use that contact campaign. I'm going to go into my marketing. I'm going to do my campaigns again. Okay. My campaigns, I'm going to create one. This is my first campaign, then I'll create the event, okay? I'm gonna finish my cup of coffee. Since this is a campaign, this is gonna be called my SOI emails. As this is a campaign, it'll be a series of events over the next however many months, I don't know, that I'm gonna send to my SOI. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna call this, okay? Return, and here, did that go away? Subject, okay. Wait a second, what happened? Content, I don't want my content to look like that. Status, what happened here, people? Create my first campaign. Let me try this again. Sorry. Not sure what happened. Okay, campaign name. I'm going to change it so it doesn't think I'm doing something over. And category, content type. I'm going to choose this because I just want to send them. I'll choose this one. I just want to send them an image. Okay, and this is going to be, look what I just brought to market. Okay, making it inactive so nothing weird happens. And see this content, I've got an image here and I've got a blank template there. So I'm gonna, my images, I'll see what's in here. I don't really want to send them a flyer, so do I have any images here? These should be one. Oh, let's choose this. This will be useful for you. So this image already lives in her IQO. That's why it's coming up. Okay, and it's got a play button on it that I made for her because it's attached to a video. So I'm going to select that. Okay, and here I go. I can click for video. I can shrink it to get rid of the cars, move it over a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and click save there. So that's my top image. And then down here, I'm going to write as soon as it comes online. Come on. Must be Halloween. Trick or treat. It's all tricks. Shoot. I don't know why that takes a while sometimes, but anyway, here's what I would do, and I started to do this wrong. I would put this image down here, and then I would link it to the video that I have for that property. Okay, and then they could click and they'll see the video, and I can write some stuff under it, and everything will be hunky dory. Okay, inactive. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. I have to choose a date. Send using date. Select OK. Jeez, come on. All right, so let's just put this out in the future. So again, if I mess up, and send after 5. Okay, next. No recipients found. That's because I haven't added any context yet. So here's what I need to do is I need to add recipients. And I can go into my contact types. I can click agents, offices, groups, contacts. So if I just want to send this to 2 people, I click here on contacts. But I want to send this to contact types. And Genia doesn't have her CRM set up. So over here, I would see, you know, SOI level A or whatever, because I've added them as a contact type. I click that, and that would mean all my SOI level A would be getting this. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cancel so I don't do anything wrong here. I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'm gonna come back to life. That was obviously not the ideal explanation of how to do that. We failed on a couple of fronts, but anyway, there are ways to do this to your MLS entire. There are also ways to do it to selected people. So that's printing and emailing flyers in, I won't say a nutshell, because it's not much of a nuts, it's a coconut shell, and there's a debate over whether coconuts are actually nuts. I don't think they are, but they're called coconuts. So, but if this was a nutshell, it'd be a coconut shell, nice and big. Thank you for that agreement, Chrissy, or the almost falling asleep. I couldn't tell. All right, questions about what we just went over?
Did you go over the where to find the land brochure?
I don't think so. Share and share alike. Okay. We go into marketing. We can go to my campaigns. We add a campaign. Lisa just likes watching these arrows move clockwise.
I do.
Okay. Now it doesn't live up here. I wish it did. I wish it lived right here, but it doesn't. Just listed. So there's a land one. I think it starts with L. Julie, do you remember yesterday when I sent it to you? Did it land on the market blue?
Oh, nice.
So if we select this one, we can see that it doesn't have the beds and baths. It has an address and then you can write whatever. But they took out the bed, bath, and square footage thing so it doesn't confuse anything. Okay? So that's there. Because even when you deleted the beds and bath, it still showed up BD and BA and square foot, and it was kind of obnoxious. So land, and I'm happy to send you a screenshot of that anytime because those are hard things to remember. Where does that thing live? But if people want that, it does exist. Okay, that is awesome. Glad to hear it, Jennifer. Okay, so that was that. That was that. I think that covers the flyers. Vale, anything else you either want to chime in or chat in that you wanted to get out of today's thing without making anybody's tea kettle squeal too much? I don't know what that even means. Chrissy, did you go from a 2 or 3 or whatever you said to a 9? Yes?
I feel like, yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward once you're in there.
Well, yeah, and be careful what you say because the IQO is anything but straightforward, but it's a matter of fluency. And if you're sitting for 15 minutes, and I know none of you are, like, it's pretty quiet, send yourself a couple flyers, act as yourself, figure it out, get some fluency, because the more you do it, just like any tech thing, the easier it will be when you have to do it. And I tell you all this, and I've told MDs this shouldn't be your job to do this. And I know Teresa's made that really clear to OMs that you guys aren't to do flyers. And I guess what I would say without contradicting any of that is that there's times when you need to step in and be the pinch hitter. And if you can deliver a hit with this, and it'll take you 2 minutes, whereas an agent, it's going to take them 20, and it's going to be frustrating, and they're going to be like, F it. Dude, I come in on the side of come to the rescue. Not that you're wearing capes or anything, but it's a really good way to build currency and to build respect and trust with your agents if you're able to do this for them in a pinch. Yes, show them, teach them, but keep in mind that if they're doing this once a week, and agents, if you're in the room, again, I'm not trying to speak disparagingly of you or anything. I'm just saying the reality is we sit in front of the computers all day doing this stuff. So if you're doing if an agent's doing this once every 2 weeks, it's going to be, and if we're doing it once a day or once every 2 days, OMs, it's not going to be nearly as frustrating. And that's all I'm saying. Do with that what you will. I'm not telling you how to act or not act. I'm just saying that I know in Sun Valley, our agents, they appreciate it. That's all I'll say. There's some gratitude in our ability to do this, even though a lot of agents do it on their own. Okay. Last thing is this, OMs, and this applies to all of our markets, but particularly our resort ones, is that if your agent has a global luxury listing, but they haven't done the CB3, they don't get the CB3, or they don't get the global luxury collateral. However, if they want a global luxury flyer, we have a template here in Sun Valley, and we can make that happen pretty easily. Either I can email the template to you and you can put photos in. You can create one in Canva that lives there. So if any listing is a global luxury listing and they want a nice GL flyer, looks a little different, that's certainly something you can ask me for. And if I have time, I can do it, or I can share the template with you. It's on PowerPoint essentially, so it's super easy. Chrissy, do you know PowerPoint at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you know how easy it is to flop and switch photos out. But that is an option, even though it doesn't exist if you don't get to CB3. But if they want flyers or send out an email that has global luxury stuff on it, you can certainly do that. Okay. Julie says no questions here. Jennifer says that is awesome. Shelby says I'm dehydrated. Lisa says go, go, go. And Chrissy says, I'll be trick-or-treating tonight from 2 to 5 or something. Oh, no, your kids are 2 to 5.
Yes.
And your 3 hours of trick-or-treating. Oh, my God. We need more candy. Okay,
Can I ask
any
one
questions?
question? Yeah.
What? Oh, yes.
I know it. I got to keep you busy. So you know when the flyer automatically uploads the photos themselves, it's in a full frame. But if you want to swap out a picture, are you required to crop it? Is there any way to get a full frame in there, like what is uploaded?
No, because those frames are very horizontal. You can see, I can't remember if I closed my IQO or not. You can see that, so most of your photos in IQO are going to be, they're horizontal, yes, but they're typically 3 by 2. So 3 inches across by 2 inches high, let's say. And what you'll see in IQO, that's too slow. What you'll see here in about 17 minutes is these are not 3 by 2 dimensions. It's more like probably 4 by 2. These images, look at how far across that is. So it's probably 4.5 by 2, I would even bet. So basically you're taking those nice horizontal images that live in MLS and it's horizontalizing them even more.
Okay.
So that's why you need to reload it so that you can manipulate it better so that you're not cutting off the top of a house or what have you. So the way it looks in the MLS is not the way it's going to look on this. I still think this flyer on the market now is the most attractive. But if you have an agent that likes another one, and I know we should be done here, and I don't want to take much more of your time, but let's look at a couple of these others. To me, they look cookie cutter, and they've got calligraphy script, and I ain't got no time for that, if you know what I mean. I just want nice, clean text.
Derek, is there a way that we can know what the exact dimensions are for those so then we can crop and resize them ourselves? Like on the IQ website, it shows you like the exact pixel of it. And so you can, on my Adobe, I can resize and format them. Like whenever you're changing out the pictures on the IQO website or like on our website, it gives you like directions on like how much pixel and what size and dimensions each ones are. So I didn't know if there was like a way we knew like exactly what box dimensions they are so the pixels wouldn't be.
Right. Yeah. You know, Jennifer, that's a good question. I've largely struck out with that. I've tried to adhere to those things, and then I'll create an image that's that pixelation, and it looks funky.
Yeah.
I think you can drive yourself to the funny farm trying to adhere to some of the rules that exist. So again, that's why I rely on that one flyer. Like if you chose the general one, like to me, it's really cookie cutter. And that's just me. Doesn't mean you have to think that. But you've got 6 images here, 4 of which are really small. And to me, a small image is just, it's why have an image at all? And so what Jennifer's asking, like, Lisa, see this image right here? This frame is actually pretty close to what you're talking about with a normal listing photograph, right? These images look just about to be 3 by 2. This one is square. Square is a tough one, but I'd rather think about 3 images than 6 and have to worry about making 3 images look good than 6. But Jennifer, to answer your question in a very unhappy way is like, I really think you could be down a rabbit hole trying to get dimensions just for a flyer. That's been my experience. Lisa, I just showed you that the general flyer has 3 by 2 frames in it, much more conducive to normal photography, but it's also 6 images that you have to worry about.
Oh, okay.
So I'm glad you left right when I was
Sorry.
Hey man, you should see my office. As soon as I start talking to someone, it's like, there's the door, they go. It's crazy. So, all right. Anything else that we can cover without overdoing it and bludgeoning ourselves on this Halloween day? Bludgeoning. Okay. Excellent. As always, Vale, I really appreciate you asking about this, and I would love Chrissy, anytime there's an issue that you have or that 3 agents have asked about, like, we can do this all the time. I don't schedule them because I don't want to make you guys sit through more things because you have to sit through a lot of stuff already. But if you're just confused about a little something or just want a little bit more fluency with the stuff, we can do this as regularly as you see fit. Okay? Even if it's just one-on-one. That's what I'm here for. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Happy Halloween, everybody. More treats than tricks in real estate, all right?
Ah.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.